ministry out of Nashville, Tennessee, and today we're talking about how God is a Father who provides in big ways and in small ways. I love this topic because God's providence is all around us, constantly at work, and we just don't have the eyes to see it a lot of times. And I was reflecting on this recently, and one thing that I realized is that the times in my life where I was like the most needy or had a bigger lack in my life, those times are always difficult, but they're so beautiful because that lack, it makes so much space for God to come in and show us his providence. And there was one time where I had been living in a Lake Catholic community, and I just came home, and so after being out of the world for like over a year, I didn't have like a lot of money, I didn't know what God was calling me to do, but I really felt the Lord telling me to go back into ministry. And I was like, okay, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I have no money to do this. And I just put it back in God's court. I was like, if you want me to do this, Lord, you got to provide for me. You got to show me what to do. And like, it was like the next day, someone handed me a check for $5,000 and said, I want to give this to you to start your ministry. And so the Lord, that's a big way. God provides in small ways too.
In big ways.
Big ways and in small.
Yeah, I think the Lord has definitely provided in ways like that as well for me, but I find that he does it a lot in small ways, ways just to make me feel seen by him. Because I think a lot of times we can feel unseen or forgotten. Yeah. And it's so hard to say that out loud because you know, like, you're never unseen or forgotten by God. But one way, one little way is just for Valentine's Day recently. So sweet. We had somebody anonymous, but I wasn't even at home, but I get this message from Maria that was like, someone sent us this gorgeous bouquet of flowers, and we all got certificates to go get our nails done. And it was so sweet because it was like, you know what? Like, I am seen and I am loved. And yeah, I think another little way was just coming on this trip to Columbus, Ohio. We had this very special sweet lady that picked us up from the airport and brought us to our hotel rooms. And when we got in there, there was this bouquet of flowers and this treat bag. And it's just all these little ways that the Lord makes me, I don't know a lot about you, but makes me feel seen in his way of providing for me.
Yeah. I think another way that I really experienced God's provision is particularly in moments of my life where I don't have control. And for me, that's happened a lot when I travel because you're kind of at the mercy of
providence.
You're at the mercy of God. You know, you're at the airport. But one of the big ways that I remember was I was I was living over in Austria, and we were traveling. I was with 3 others. We were in Italy, and it was like 2 a.m. We had just gotten in with our on our train, and everything was closed. The bus wasn't running. There were no taxis. It's pouring down rain. We're exhausted. And we're like, shoot, do we just like sleep in the train station, which we've done before, but we're really feeling it in that moment. And so we grabbed hands. We're like, all right, let's pray. So we prayed together. And just a couple minutes later, this guy comes up. He pulls up in his car and he starts talking to us. And he spoke a little bit of English, a lot of Italian, and we spoke very little Italian and a lot of English. And we're kind of communicating. And he he realized that like we didn't have anywhere to go and didn't even know where to go. And so he basically, in his broken English, was like, well, come with me. And we all had a sense that like it was okay and it was safe. So we put our bags in and we all get in. And he first of all, he drives us by the Catholic Church there. So we knew where to go to Mass in the morning. It was going to be Sunday the next day. And then he takes us to this lovely hostel. And we walk in and there's this like, you could tell it was like a Catholic hostel, and there was a picture of like Pope John Paul II and Jesus and Our Lady, and it was just really neat. And that whole time, and he got us in there, got us settled in, and then he just kind of disappeared. And to this day, we're like, maybe he was an angel, maybe. But either way, it just showed us how like God really does provide in the big ways, the small ways.
Yeah. And so many times, like, it's through the hands of others, and so we're called to be God's hands and feet. Like, we're called to be God's provision for others, too, which is beautiful to be reminded of.
Yeah, so let us know how certain ways that God has provided for you in your life or made you feel seen. We would love to hear your stories. Yeah. And come find us on Facebook and Instagram at
Be a Zone,
and on Twitter at
Be a Zone Music.
Thanks for joining us. See y'all later. Bye.